What up? What up?
What's going on, man?
Oh, happy. What they call it? What's today? 420?
120.
Happy 420.
That's right.
How was the week?
It's been pretty good. Um, you know, overall decent week, I'll say. What about for you?
Not bad. Not bad. I think I told you I'm going to get into it a little bit more in detail, but I've been on a hot streak, right?
Oh yeah.
Monday, hot streak ended. So I took Tuesday and Wednesday off to reevaluate my life, the decisions I was making. But no,
I did the same thing.
it's been good. Today was good. But anyway, live Q&A, live trade review. Let's just do this intro thing and get ready.
That's right.
All right. So what I was going to do is show a couple trades from today because they're fresh in my mind, probably fresh in people's minds too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I was going to show the first one I was going to show is one I think the people we talk to on Twitter, right? A lot of us trade the same type of stuff. People in Discord, we all trade the same type of stuff. So AUGX is one that I think a lot of people traded. Let's see here. Did you trade this one?
No, man, I didn't. Just because I'm not great trading gappers right out of the gate like that unless they do something crazy,
Yeah, you mentioned that.
And I wasn't comfortable with it, the volume in pre-market, and I didn't see a good resistance level I liked. I don't know. It just wasn't. I've never traded those good, and it's probably because I don't trade them enough. But
No, I think
you
there's
trade them awesome. So
well, there's nothing wrong because I think I said in the Discord today, yesterday. If it ain't a day one, day two, or like first red day for me, I usually suck at it. Right, like it needs to be a day one, day two, or first red day. If it's a multi-day runner, I usually get like CNSP today.
Yeah.
Man, I lost on that. 3 strikes, I'm out. I lost on it 3 times today. I mean, I kept it small, but multi-day runner, not a first red day, not a day one, not a day two. Shouldn't have traded it. Not my wheelhouse, not something I do. Traded anyway. Volume was stupid. Huge red flag. Anyway, getting off topic. But
I usually trade those well, but I think I was trying to trade it like a D1 today.
Yeah, because it was on the day one gapper list, but it wasn't a true day, which we talked about.
Yeah, we were talking about that this morning because that's what I was saying. Like that thing just keeps popping its head back up,
Yep. So this is going to be pretty quick on this one, but a lot of people were disappointed with this ticker because, and this isn't the whole chart. I have a bad habit of taking a picture after I execute, and that's my last given picture. But this chart got to that 1-200 level and just stagnated, and it kind of bounced around up and down. It never really gave a good failed follow through below where my cover is really. And a lot of people were pissed off about it. I talked to a couple people about it. I'm like, man, it just won't die, yada, yada. I agree. However, and this is where I think we get, I don't want to say spoiled's the right word, but just maybe reality distortion, or just we're in this too long and we forget. I don't know. This was a 15% trade. Like 15%.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah. Like I didn't get full size on it. I missed an opportunity to add once above VWAP. The break here, I could have added there. I missed it. Huge breakthrough volume too. I think I had a limit order right up in this area and it never hit. And I should have tagged this at VWAP and I didn't. But anyway, still a really solid trade. Like I said, 15%, give or take. May have been closer to 18, but either way, like solid. And I'm not a opening print boy, as they say, but when I see stuff like this, and I have another chart to show for my whole thesis for why I took it where I took it. Where is it here? So I love 15-minute. It's like my second maybe favorite time frame. But anyway, 15-minute, and I'm trying to get better at taking pictures of these 15-minute time frames earlier in the day before this volume profile has extended from other levels that are kind of irrelevant and open. But anyway, at open, this was all there was. All right, like this was it. There wasn't anything up here. It was literally it just distributed, distribution all throughout pre-market in this area. So when it opened and it failed to even get to that area, remember I've told you before I use color blocks on level 2. So I was watching it at open, and at first the bid side was pretty stacked, for me on the yellows, color block wise. But anyway, it's pretty stacked at first. That lasted about 10 seconds. And then when it got above 340, it's like the ass lined up, sellers overwhelmed the tape. So right in that instant, I hit it, knowing that if it goes down even a 5% drop, all those people in this area here are instantly underwater. Like instantly. And odds are they're probably going to start panic selling as well. And it's going to struggle to break back above this volume level, because this wasn't a low float. This was like a 30 mil float.
Mm-hmm.
So in my opinion, at least through data and just experience, when it's a higher float, 30 mil or whatever, and it does break down early, it's usually tougher for it to just push back up on air. If it were a 5 mil float or a sub mil float, that's easy. We see that happen all the time.
All the time, exactly.
But a 30 mil float, a little bit different. So with the float and this huge amount of distribution in pre-market, and when I saw that, it was quick. Like the sellers stepped in very fast. So I hit it and pretty much got instant resolution on it.
Dude, this is a solid ass trade. Like I always think of you just hitting these trades like this, just because you're so chill. It's just such a chill trade. It's just like hit it.
Yeah.
No, like nothing even. There's nothing to worry about. Just hit it. 15%, you're out. That's solid.
Yeah, I typically don't overstay on much of anything. If I get my 10-15%, I'm happy with that. Today I got a close to 30% and I was ecstatic, because that for me is pretty rare. I don't usually hold for 30-40%. But again, 15%, that's solid. So this was a solid trade. That's what started my day. So anyway,
I've just gotten, I don't know, man. I've just gotten so into that whole like holding some on the way down. I'm always trying to catch these big ass moves, and sometimes it bites me in the ass. But the times that it works out, make up for the times like WINT from earlier this week, or I had a loss. I had a loss today, like that just ended as a loss. Like I didn't make anything back on it. We'll get into that.
CSNP. I saw your CSNP or whatever. You're in my charts were literally identical. Your last stop, I swear to you, was my last stop.
Yeah, man. I was like, all right, this is it. Like if it gets back over whatever it was, 3, I'm done.
I have one more from the day that I'll show real quick.
Oh yeah, show all you want.
And then I'll let you jump into your couple from the day. So PTPI, we talked about this pre-market.
I've been show this one today too.
Yeah, I've been stalking this for a while. I think that the holding power on this has been insane. I think it's up from like $2 or $3. I don't even know anymore. It's up a ton.
Something like that.
But we were talking this morning. It halted. We called it out. We talked about the open S3s, the dilution, their lack of financing. We went through the whole thing this morning, right? We talked about all that stuff. And anyway, so when I saw the halt, this was in my mind kind of a halt resume type of setup. And I was like, this could be it. And we even put in the Discord, like, this could be the one. This could be the move that we've been stalking for days now. So
I was so ready for it, man. Like I was thinking this has got to be it.
So I was in full size, right? Half, full size. And then it starts curling up. And I said in the chat between the two of us, I'm like, I ain't getting out on a fake breakout. I'm not getting out on a fake breakout. I want to see a 920 like hold. The problem was the halt level was just above that.
Yep.
And by the way, if people like aren't, I think with DOS it's standard, but I think with Trade Zero, if I remember right, you had to manually add the halt levels in there. Either way, all I'm getting at is if your halt levels aren't in level 2, you need to put them in level 2. I think there's a lot of edge to be had, or just risk management to be had with knowing where the halt levels are.
Oh hell yeah, man! I mean, like, and on top of that, it's if you know once you get familiar with, and I'm saying this to anybody, once you get familiar with the way level 2 moves, and
Yep.
you know, I'm kind of like, I'm not some big level 2 guy, like I've said before, but you can tell when one's doing when it's fixing to halt, and you know we can talk about how this one it did the fake halt today. Like I thought, and that's I feel like that's a newer thing. I feel like
that's exactly what I was gonna say. I feel like that's relatively newer that we've seen a lot more of this year.
Yeah, the fake halts, man. Like I never used to see that. I used to only see if it was doing the halt thing,
it was gonna halt.
Yeah, you know, your timing sales is all like the same number, and I mean, you know, it's
yep. So of course I had to get out, right? I had to get out because it looked like it was gonna halt. And you know, if you don't get out before a halt, this thing could open up $1 or $2 higher. You don't know.
Oh, I mean, yeah, this thing could have opened to 12. That's
right.
That's what I had in my head. I'm like, it's going to 12.
Yeah. So I had to get out, but then the second, and I was lucky to get re-executed because the SSR was on this thing, but it bounced around here for about 5 seconds in that fake halt waltz thing that it did. But anyway, fake halt, and then I instantly re-hit it back, and you know, boom, we get the move we've been expecting for days. We've been shit, man. I think this thing started maybe last week. I don't even remember, but we've been stalking this for a long time. I was a little I was hoping when because it halted down, didn't it?
Yeah, it halted down.
That's right, because you chased it down, you said, and then so it had a nice little gap down on the halt, and I was hoping it was just gonna go sub 7 and just die. But anyway,
I did too, because it had me all nervous, like, which I hate being like that because I had, you know, I had full size back on, and I felt like I had chased it down, so I was like,
it worked out because so my last, you know, I took a big chunk off here. I had to. That's a huge move, and then I remember saying in chat, I was like, I'm gonna keep a trailer. I'm gonna keep a trailer. Literally 2 minutes later, I was like, I'm all out. I'm a liar.
Yeah, I know you had a bunch of shares on it, so
like
I don't blame you.
I had to lock that in, and it did go lower, but I mean, shit, this was a 30% gain. I took a cut here, but this cut here compared to the move here, shit. This is why I don't care to lose. Like, this is literally why I don't give a shit if I lose. I don't care. I really don't care. Like, people lose all the time.
You have to be, man. That's how you have to be.
I'm gonna tell you that one book, and I don't want to get too far off, but the Best Loser Wins, I think it was called. Man, that book was a great read, and you know, I think Twitter ruins us a lot. FinTwit, social media, you don't ever see people lose, but I lose all the time. I don't give a shit. Like, whatever. I just know when the opportunities come, I'm gonna nail these freaking opportunities. So anyway, that was a solid TradsBomb best trade of the week.
Dude, that was solid. Go ask Mama. What?
He has a second one on the way, folks. It's gonna get better. That's what happens when you have kids. But
sorry, y'all.
No, it's all good.
And shut that door.
The only reason I don't have that type of stuff happen is because my kids are a little bit older. So if they walk in the room, I can just, you know.
That's right, man. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, you know how it is.
Yep.
Well, and,
I know.
Yeah, dude, PTPI was solid. I really hate that I damn near top ticked out of it, and I'll go ahead and show mine just so.
Yeah, I mean, I top ticked out of it too, but it was like we had to because of that halt level.
Yeah, I saw like several guys like Madaz and Short Sniper, like they all like legit. Short Sniper posted he legitimately like top print
Yep,
covered.
yep.
Um,
But he probably was looking at that halt level.
yeah, I mean, dude, and like we were saying, man, that halt level that is a new thing. It's got to be like that's. I think that's. I mean, the market makers and whoever's rigging this thing, whatever you want to call it, they're
Right.
always changing things around.
Yep.
It's like you can't get too comfortable. Like I used to have it as my background. It said, once you think the game's easy, the trap is set.
Yep. That's
So it's like
exactly right.
shorten parabolic moves, halt resumes, things like that. All that. I mean, it's like once you think you've got it, like then they do
You
these
got.
fake halts, and so
Yep.
I'm in right here, and like I'll sometimes like hotkey in to get my full size. Whether it's you know 100 shares per arrow or 500, it just whatever I'm planning on doing, and so I'm in here and I'm like, okay, I was like, I have a sick average. Like I waited for the stuff. I was like, this is perfect. And man, it makes this move. Right when I saw it break above that, I was like, I gotta get out. It looked like it was halting.
Yep.
I get out, and then it immediately
Yep.
tanks. And then it looked like it was gonna halt down, and I was hitting it with
I was gonna say, were you mashing the hotkeys?
yes, dude, and it executed me like right there above that halt level, which it wasn't full size because I was like, what if this rips back up, So
Right.
that's because at first I wanted to get all back in, but then I saw you saying that you got all back in before it, in that wick, which was sick with it being on SSR, man. Because
I think that was straight up luck. I mean, I just hit market. I got a market 100% key, and I was just hitting, and you know, lucky, just lucky.
yeah, but it had to be like a limit to get it though, right? Because of the SSR.
Hmm? Oh, you can market. I marketed into that SSR. It just had to be on an uptick.
Oh yeah, okay. See, because mine's on a downtick.
Yeah, so that's why I think unless I like there was seriously like a 2 or 3 second window when it fake halted and it kind of hopped around up and down, up and down, up and down. And it was like if you didn't catch it in that 2 or 3 second window, then it just tanked. So then you're trying to get
Okay.
executed on that downtick and it's just damn near impossible.
Yeah, I mean, you see how it was for me.
Hmm. So
Which
I
that
got lucky that I caught it in that little mini window and was able to get back. And I at first when I saw my arrow pop up that I got executed, I just assumed it was like I don't know, 100 shares or 10 shares or some shit, but it was all of it. So very fortunate that happened because SSR is freaking sucks.
Oh yeah, dude. Um. Anyway, so after that, I what's it called? I hit it with all my size again right here. I was like, shit, I'm still chasing it down. Like I said, having to try to get it on the uptick, whatever.
Yep.
And it kind of bounced around. I covered some, and then it dropped down and bounced off the yesterday's close. Um, and then I covered it all right here. I
I
didn't.
like your last cover though. When it broke green to red, excuse me, when it broke green to red, I like that cover a lot.
Oh yeah, I
Solid
was happy
trade.
with it. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
it worked out. Um, not the way I wanted it to, but and that was a pretty decent little loss right there. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I still sometimes wish I were swinging some, but whatever. I had to take it. 30%. I mean, whatever.
That's right.
Okay. I was. Do you have another one from today that you wanted to show before I show one from earlier in the week?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'll do from today ADTX.
Oh yeah, shit! You caught an offering.
Yeah, dude. I mean it worked out pretty good. It went against me a little bit, but you know, let's see here. Here it is. So
That's nasty.
it worked out good, man. And my you know, for anyone asking, whatever, my risk was pretty much just going to be a break over two and hold. And yes, that would have been a pretty sizable loss. You know, I thought today was going to end up being red, especially when
Yeah, but in a scenario like this, like I don't know how you stop out before 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you between that old, when it went straight para, right? Just below 2, and then you entered in after all that. Like, how could you not risk that in maybe a 2 break? Like, I'd have to do the same. I didn't trade this, but if I traded it, my risk would have to be. It'd be hard to risk even above 190 because then you're so close to 2. I'd have to like risk. I don't blame you. Shit, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, man. I mean, and aside from that huge parabolic move, it wasn't like it was just. I mean, it was ripping, but it wasn't ripping like that. You know what I mean? It would have been. I mean, yeah, I could see it ripping if it got over that, but the way that it was moving wasn't, to the upside wasn't as fast or as violent as this. So I wasn't as worried. Right. I didn't know they were going to do an offering, obviously, but I mean, this was up huge. It round tripped.
Yep.
you
Offerings you don't catch them too often.
And it's funny because like I'd maybe caught 1 or 2 in my life, and then like this year I think I've caught like 2 or 3.
Yeah, they're like unicorns. At least we don't catch them often, but damn, when you do, it feels good.
Hell yeah, man, it sure does. I got lucky with that, and then yeah, so I took off a good bit here, and at 109 I was all out. It was a pretty damn solid trade. It felt good,
Yeah, I don't remember the last offering I've caught, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, still, with that Veru trade, it might as well have been an offering. That was
that was the best. That was better than an offering.
Yeah, that was something else, man. That was.
Oh
yeah,
shit.
That was sick.
No, this is a good one though. I like this, but yeah, I don't blame you for not. Shit, even if it would have done a fake breakout above that 190 into 2, I don't know that I could have cut that.
I know, man, and it's like, when you've got a good bit of size on, you're like, damn, man, like it doesn't feel good to let it run against you like that. I'm just not. I don't usually. I will say this week I was a little bit. I had a little bit of slack on some.
Oh, I'm glad you're saying that because I'm gonna show my WINT trade from earlier in the week that kind of like leveled me the hell out a little bit.
And same with me, dude. I didn't have I was slightly green on that trade, which lucky to be.
Same. So I maybe break even, but kind of was a wake up call that like I need to because today I traded 4 tickers. Typically I trade 3 or 4 a day, sometimes only 2. But prior to, Monday and then last week and the week before, and ever since the bank thing, I've been trading 6 to 8 tickers a day, which for me is a lot. I typically don't trade that much. But anyway, all right, so. You know what? Before I put up WINT, I'm going to show this one too. So I know I've said before, day 1, day 2, first red day, or parabolic. Those are about the 4 things I like to dabble in. Mm-hmm. This was from Monday as well, the same day as WINT. But I mean, it was getting to a point where I was hitting every damn thing I was trading. They were all working out like this. Like I tried to let it set a top, tried to hit it on the way back down, the rejection. And I mean, pretty instant resolution. This was like 20%. Like
It was solid, dude.
this is a fast 20%. This took what? 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, I made 20%. Like, this is how most of my trades have been going. To be honest with you, it was just like, you go through ebbs and flows, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
that was a fast one. Quick para. But anyway, I'm going to show WINT now. And I needed WINT to happen. I told you I needed WINT to happen because I was getting a little too loose. So here is kind of a not humbling moment, but I guess you could say humbling. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I needed this to happen because I needed to chill out. I just was shooting at everything. Anyway, WINT. Now, right in this area, this was well above a pair of 40 at this point. This thing was up from 5, and at this point, it was already at 7. So this was
it was up from more than 5.
Yeah. What? 4?
It was like
25 or something.
Yes, something like that.
So this was well above a pair of 50 at this point.
This is a micro float too.
Yeah, I think this
might have been like 1 mil.
I was gonna say it was right around 1 or even sub. It was tiny float, and obviously it went bananas. But this was shot number 1. So entered, and I actually got out here when it quick. Like with parabolics for me, I want a pretty quick resolution. Right, I don't have wide risks on parabolics. I just can't stomach 30-20% drawdowns or stop loss. It's just not my style. So I wanted pretty quick resolution, especially because I don't like to overstay on sub mil or even sub 5 mil flows. I just don't like to do it. Like DRMA today, I think it was.
Yeah,
I piked the shit out of that trade, but it's because I don't like to overstay on low floats. But anyway, try number 1, got out for about break even in this range when I saw it start to rip back up again and volume start to come in. Hit the halt resume. That was a quick loss. I mean, that was like what, 10 seconds? I think me and you both took that.
I think that was my first one on it.
I think there. And that was fast. That was literally a 10-second move. Doesn't look like much on the chart now, but this was almost like a $2 move. That was fast. So I re-hit it after it unhalted. I hit it again. I de-risked and took some off here. And then I'm like, shit. And then look what happened, right? Took some off and then instantly like halts down. And I'm like, this thing's done. So I obviously hit it pretty good. Because I had shares and the shares were expensive. So then I got in this mindset like, damn, shares were expensive. I got the shares. I need to use them and try to this thing's done. Dude. I was like, it's going to come back up here and it's going to just, it's done. It wasn't done. So I think this was a little halt here. It almost looks like it was. Probably was. One final ad, thinking fake breakout. It wasn't a fake breakout. I all outed again. Then at this point, I even put in the chat, like, I'm deep red on this. Like, the only reason I wasn't in max loss territory is because up until this point, I had already traded like 3 or 4 other tickers on this Monday, like that pair that I just showed, and a couple others that I had already done well on. So, but at this point, I'm deep red on this ticker. I'm red on the day. So anyway, one last try, and I'm going to show another chart for the reason for the one last try. And then it starts to work out. So then this again doesn't look like a lot, but this was almost a $3 a share move. So a pretty big recoup of some of the losses, not all. Recycled back in with everything I had, took half off here, And I think I even put in the Discord like I needed an 1150 break or just around 11 to get break even. So I should have probably got all out there. I didn't, and I got pretty. I was nervous right here. Volume starts coming in. It's curling up. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna get out on this break even. But anyway, I did get lucky and had this nice little fade and ended on the trade still red after locates, but not as bad as it could have been.
Right.
But I needed this to happen. But the reason for this last little hoorah right up in here is because of the daily, which I think we talked about probably. So this was the daily. This was just a couple months, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, or I don't know what, end of February, however long ago that was. It had a run and not much volume, so I wasn't super confident in that level, but I just liked the fact that it had this massive run and then failed the next day. So in my head, I'm like, it's got to come back down. There's got to be some resistance here from people that were stuck holding this bag or they're trying to get their money back, whatever. So when it did it again, it had the same type of move. So that this was it. If it had broke through this, I would have exacerbated that loss even more. So I don't want to say I was lucky. I was lucky. I was lucky to make it worse.
Better to be lucky than good, right?
Yeah. What up, Art?
What's up, Art?
But yeah, that was my last hoorah based on that daily level. Didn't like the fact that there was no volume behind it. Not really. A couple million shares isn't a lot. The only thing I really liked about it was the fact that it had made that behavior where it spiked up and then slammed back down before the end of the day. So it worked out in the sense that I didn't make the loss worse and I recouped most of the loss on it, but it did force me to reevaluate some of the decisions I was making. I just was loose, man. I was literally shooting at everything. But I was in a streak, and the second you get cocky or the second you start thinking you got all that shit figured out, that's what happens.
Hey, like I said earlier, man, like that thing I used to keep on my phone, the minute you think this game is easy, the trap is set.
Yep, and that's pretty much what happened. But when we were trading WINT in the moment, we didn't think it was going to go up 1,000%.
No.
But we call them black swan events, but lately we've been seeing those type of moves or some wild ass moves more frequently the last couple months. The last couple months has been a wild cycle.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, it could be a good money making cycle if you play it right.
I agree. Like, we've had tons of opportunity. Of course, when you have tons of opportunity, we talked about this the other day too. A lot of chatter going around about manipulation. Well, yeah, no shit. Like, when there's a hot cycle, there's going to be a ton of manipulation. It's small caps. It's what they do. But it's also manipulation when they run the price up and then slam an offering. You caught that offering today because of manipulation, but we don't gripe about it when it goes in our favor. But yeah, they're pieces of shit company and they do shady stuff. So that's part of it. Exactly. And there's a huge edge on the short side. Yeah. Anyway, you're right. Go ahead. You go.
All I was gonna say is I'll show my WINT chart too. At first, like I said, we were talking about it in our room. So I was like, it was halted, and I was like, man, I just got shares. I'm hitting this on resume. So I shorted here, and it was like an instantaneous, like.
Yep. You and I got that same. Yep.
Yeah, like an instantaneous, like $1.50 or $2 loss. So I was like,
yep.
Oh shit! And so
yeah.
Then I see, it halts up again. I was like, thank God I'm out. And this thing hits whatever it was, 13 or 14 right here, and I hit it with about a quarter, I see this stuff, and I'm thinking, all right, that's it.
That's what I thought too.
So I get some more there. I'm trying to hit it here on a lower high. I'm all in, full size. And next thing you know, this thing halts up again. And I think it might have halted up like 2 more times.
It may have. This thing was wild. Like,
yeah, I took a pretty big loss right here. Like, and I absolutely top ticked out of it. I hit the market order.
Be like that sometimes.
Yeah, man. Definitely didn't want to share that one on Twitter, but I do, just because, like, I'll be losing like that sometimes. Man, it sucks.
Well, we joke all the time that, like, 90% of people that trade lose, but on Twitter it's the complete opposite.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like 90% of people win and only 10% lose. Like, Twitter is full, if you didn't know, of world-class traders. So, little known fact.
Oh yeah, man. So yeah, that's like, how many? I mean, that's like a good $5 plus loss. And like I said, shit happens. It didn't hit my max sell on it, but it was I don't remember what else I'd been trading that day. I think I was up already. But it was pretty close. And
tricky, man. It was a tricky ticker.
After that, I was I wouldn't say I was on tilt, but I was like, man, I'm slamming this all full size. I'm all the way back in right there.
No, I mean, tilt might be a good word for me, because I hadn't had I just had this feeling that I was invincible and anyway.
I was just telling Brady about that. I was telling him, man, like, the worst thing for me personally is, like, when I don't have to take any losses. It's like, because I'll like forget how to take a loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're really good at stopping out quick, and I usually am. When I have like a good even amount of stopping out, like you said, you're in that mindset. Like, I don't care. I don't mind taking a loss. Here, I was like, all right, it was and like the locates thing. Like, if you pay for more expensive locates, it gets you in that feeling too.
Yeah, you feel like you got to make it worth it, which is stupid. I've heard some people, I don't know if I could ever do. No, I could never do this. I've heard some people just don't even look at the price of locates. They just chat them and locate them and get them. I could never do that. So that's irrelevant. No way. I gotta know.
I do too, man. Like, there's been times where the price of the locates was like, just stupid expensive, and I wouldn't take the trade.
Same. There's been times I did not get locates because the setup was not worth the price of the locate. Yep. So yeah, I'd have to know what I'm paying for locates.
There was a time in 2020 or 2022, and I've gotten back to some of this, some setups where I'll take this much size, but it was pretty often I might be taking like a 5K loss or something like that, and I don't have losses that big anymore. But
same.
I remember one day I paid something like $7,200 in locates, and I think I made 7,000 on the trade. Like, it worked out, but I paid that much in locates, and I posted something about it on Twitter. It was before I posted as much, but I was like, man, that, like, I can't be doing that. And this is back when I was trying to do a little bit more systematic thing, and I mean, if I would have caught it closer to the top, it would have been a profitable trade, and that was on Trade Zero too. So
yeah, and I mean, to be fair, like, yeah, we chased WINT a bit. Granted, we're lucky to be green on it. Thing is, like, I'm sitting here looking at the filings now, and I'm not going to share it because I just can't ever share it well. But basically, this company's broke as shit. They ain't got no money.
Yep.
They are a dilution machine. They got warrants galore that are still active. They've done at the market offerings before. They have an open S3. They just did a new open S1. Recent pipe offering. Bottom line is, piece of crap company constantly going through financing options to stay relevant, to stay listed, and to keep their people paid. And we knew all this, and we could see all this. So when we hit this, people are like, "Oh, why are you even doing that? That's stupid." I mean,
Is it though?
right? I get why people would be like, "Oh, it's stupid. You chase it." I get the thought process, but I don't know. I could go pull up this chart now. I'm not going to because I know where it's at now. But right now, this thing's trading at about 250 a share. This was from Monday, mind you. So it ran all the way up from 450 to 18. It is now trading at about 250 a share, maybe even a little lower now. But this is what they do. They do these massive manipulated run-ups so they can drop an offering on retail or whoever the hell's chasing it, bag them all. They get paid. Chasers lose money. Short sellers ideally would win on that scenario, but that's why we play with small caps, because this is what they do. So obviously this went a lot further than we anticipated, but like today with PTPI, we were talking in the room beforehand, like we were like, they got no cash, they got some open S3s, they got warrants, they've done offerings before at the market, like they need cash really, really bad, like they're going to do some shady shit any given day. So when people talk about manipulation, like, yeah, no shit. Like, these are some manipulated ass tickers.
Exactly.
And this is what they do. Like I've said before, I remember when I did my interview with Laser forever ago. I said in that interview that I was like, we're basically trading market inefficiencies, like with these small caps. Like,
I mean, absolutely. That's the way I look at it.
yeah, so we know what the agendas are. We know what the end result typically is. But yeah, you got to have risk management intact, or else you could get a move like, what was it, CXAI, that went from 4 to 80 in pre-market or whatever ridiculousness it was,
Yeah, or that damn was it? It wasn't a. It was like ATXG or something. I don't think it was ADTX. That one that went. It was in October or November from last year. I remember that dude Rips. He longed it at like $70, and it went to like 1,500 in after hours.
Jesus Christ.
You remember that one?
No, there's been. I have a horrible memory with tickers, to be honest with you. I don't remember
I'm
it.
gonna see if I can pull it up just to. I just want to. I mean, we'll keep talking, but
No, yeah, it's fine. But I mean, so when we talk about this stuff, like that's why we're short biased with these small cap tickers, because they're pieces of crap company. The agenda is always the same. Management's got to pay themselves, and that's how they do it. Or it's these biotechs that are burning through cash at an ungodly level, and they got to get more financing to stay in business or to stay listed. And it's just what they do. So, I can't think. I don't know how you say his last name. Friendly Bear, David,
yeah,
Papa, whatever. He talks about he will add pretty heavy into some tickers, kind of an ad style, but he does it around a thesis of kind of what we're talking about.
oh yeah, exactly.
So he obviously wins more than he loses by a huge amount, but I'm sure his losses are pretty sizable. But when he's winning 90% of the time around his thesis, like obviously that's working out for him. But he's trading what we're talking about, like market inefficiencies. He's really good at like digging into filings, looking at all the financials. I mean, he's really, really good at that.
Yes, he is.
But that's why when people, because you and I have talked about it before, some people don't look at the news. Some people don't look at filings. Some people don't, damn, the chairman? I don't know how you say his name.
Oh yeah, Malshin or something like that.
Yeah,
I know. I asked him the other day.
he straight up tell you if it's up X amount, he's gonna short it. He don't care about the news. He don't care about nothing. It's a system style, right? System traders were discretionary. There's different styles, to each their own. But I like to know everything about a ticker. I like to know what the daily looks like, what the hourly looks like, where the resistance levels are, what the news is, because I like to digest the news, and I think that matters. Like David was talking about on a more recent interview that he learned from Michael Goodway back in the day, that when it's these biotechs talking about mouse testing, like, you short the shit out of that, because that is BS news. No one cares about it. And, you know, like, that's where knowing the news and knowing how these things react matters. So I like to know everything about a stock before I get involved, as much as possible. Parabolic's a little bit different, because a lot of times, even with pairs, there are no news, or it could be a SPAC play or this, that, or the other, and there are no financials. But for the most part, day
Hey,
ones, day twos, first red days.
I like the ones with no news.
Yeah, I mean, parabolics, a lot of times there is no news. Or yeah, you're right. Sometimes these day one, day twos with no news, it's a lot easier to short it when there is no news.
I like what you said about the mouse testing, though.
Yeah, that was an old Michael Good thing. Because he is also one that digs into like filings, and he digs hardcore on stuff. And,
Oh, yeah.
And I remember him. That was like years and years ago. He would short any biotech that was like, oh, mouse testing trials, short all of them every time. Did you find it?
Yep. And I really wanted to share this just because, I mean, this thing lives, as they say, rent free in my head.
This is why you got to have risk management, though.
Yeah, this chart is the craziest chart I've ever seen in my this one, not because of how high it went, and not because what was the one, HKD went higher than this for more, but the reason this one's so crazy is because of how fast it did it. So you see that previous date, or that? No, that's right now. But still, then the news on this was a NASDAQ uplisting.
Yeah, this was nuts. And so, golly, this is why you gotta have. I mean, this is why you gotta have risk management. Imagine being stuck in that halt right there at 150, and it reopens $100 higher.
Yeah, I don't know if I should say this or not. I mean, I don't guess it really matters. Somebody told me that there was somebody, quote unquote, stuck short with like a $70 average, and they had like 40,000 shares or something.
That account's gone.
Yeah, apparently it was like a 2 mil account, and they lost, I want to say it was 17 million, and like they went negative that much. So I guess they owe the broker several $1 million.
Oh, God.
I mean,
so it can happen.
I mean, look at this move. This is this.
That's what I'm saying. So imagine being stuck in that, even that first halt from 150 to 250. That's brutal. And you'd be thinking, okay, surely no more. I've never seen it. I mean, have you ever seen anything like this? Seriously? No, because HKD went higher but took longer. Lunar.
I've never seen one that did it like this. Like,
yeah, this, and look at the volume down below. Each candle's what, maybe 10K shares.
Yes.
So yeah, this is ridiculous. I mean,
this is why know how this happens. I mean,
I don't know what happened. I don't even remember this.
I can't believe you don't remember it. That dude rips, on Twitter. Yeah. Like
he longed it.
He longed it around $50, like added into 70. I don't know how many shares he had, but I know he made $500,000.
My thing is, right, in which that's ridiculous. But my thing is just looking at the volume, right? I don't know how the hell you trade this after that first halt. I don't know how you trade this with any sort of size and get executed. That would be my biggest concern.
I remember the day that this. I remember watching this ticker that day. Me and another one of my buddies were talking about it. It was halting all day long. I mean, there, this thing was probably halted more than it was open all day. I knew it was going to be something weird, but I thought that it would probably. And then I saw it getting up to like. I didn't touch it, but I saw it getting
No,
up to
yeah,
like
that's wild. But that's the thing. Like, I don't even know how you would long this with any. No, I mean, obviously, like Rips or other people probably made a bunch of money, but I would be terrified to long it with any real size because these candles, seriously, in 1 minute, it's only trading not even 10,000 shares. So how you get executed, that's what would scare me. What would scare me is, let's say I'm up 100 grand, but I can't even get executed. I can't even get out of it.
Oh, I know, man. And I estimated it, and I could definitely be wrong about this. I'm thinking he had about like a $30,000 position with what his average was. I I want to say, you know,
So,
which
right, how do you get out of that?
I don't know, man. Because John Papa he was shorting it, and then he flipped long, and I think he was all out at like right here.
I definitely would have got out before after hours because then in after hours the volume dies even more. Then I don't know how you get executed at all. You'd have to scale out in like 10 share blocks. So, yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy move. But this is why you got to have risk management because this shit, it'll happen again.
Oh yeah, man. I mean that's small caps, and I don't even
Yep.
know anything about this. I don't know what the float was.
Yeah,
And
but
and like I said, it uplisted that day, from OTCs or whatever. So
yeah, you can see the previous close was 80. Does that say 89 cents?
yeah, and I guess that would be correct.
That's wild.
I mean that's about what it's trading at right now. You can see right here. I don't
Yeah,
know if that's clear for you. That's my time in sales.
yeah, it's clear. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, that's gnarly. Like that just I could talk about this. I could talk about this move for days.
Yeah, the thing, like, I don't know. I guess in my head though, I'm like, damn. Even if I'm long, how do I get out?
Hey, I mean,
Especially after going into close. If you're long going into close, like I'd be praying I'd get out because that would be scary.
oh yeah,
Because I've been stuck in tickers before in the past that turn into a halt fest where the volume, this is not a liquid ticker.
no,
Brian Lee, right?
yeah,
He's kind of disappeared, but he's posted a couple of things like this that he's been involved with where the liquidity had dried up completely and he's sitting on just even 5,000 shares. Not a huge position, right? But he literally cannot get out. So he's getting out in like 20 share blocks time after time after time after time because you can't get out, like long
I've
or
had that
short.
happen to me before.
Yeah, or then it's because it's so illiquid that you're trying to get out with big size that if you do try to get out, you're moving the entire stock price by yourself.
Hmm.
Like, and then that can really screw you, especially if you're short or even if you're long. So it may have not popped up for me because I have liquidity requirements for my scan. I have no idea. I mean, like I said, I have a bad memory with remembering tickers. I'm sure I saw it that day and was like, holy shit. But
Dude, there's not like a week that goes by that I don't think about this ticker.
rent free.
Rent free, man. Just because, like, as a short seller, like, I mean, I think it was Michael Good that he posted it a while back, and I guess it was about that day that all those people got destroyed on iLag.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, dude, he was just talking about, like, he was like, as a short seller, I know every day could be my last. I'm like, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but like,
Well, I also don't trade. I don't get into tickers that aren't liquid. Parabolics. I even have X amount of shares that got to be traded in a certain amount of time before I'll get involved, or otherwise I just don't get involved.
yeah, I mean, I do too. I mean, we have our
Yeah.
set up
Same.
similarly.
But this thing, that just looking at I don't know, blows my mind how illiquid that ticker is, and how people were able to even get freaking executed with more than like 1,000 shares.
And I have a
2,000 shares.
conspiracy about this one that maybe, like, and I mean, I could be totally, making somebody mad that heard this with saying it, but I don't care. I wonder if it was like a thing where, several people in some kind of inner circle knew that someone was stuck short on this with some size. Like it was,
Man,
like
that's the
a grapevine type thing.
oh, dude, I don't doubt it because when you're looking at something with such low liquidity, if you know one guy with 100K shares or more is stuck in something this illiquid short, if I knew that, dude, I'm long in that shit, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Because every time he blocks out in even 5K increments, let alone 10K increments, dude, this price is gonna go bananas, and that's probably what happened right there at the end of the day. He's probably trying to get out with the rest of his size and sent it.
Yeah, man.
This is wild.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, have you ever seen a crazier move than that?
Nah, that's probably number one.
That yeah, I mean, that
Rent
is
free in my head now.
yeah, man. Like that is the how fast it happened. That is the craziest. And I was watching this thing. I was sitting here watching this thing. I think it was on like a Friday.
Probably.
I was sitting right here watching
See.
it, right where it's at on my screen, and I was like,
What's the date?
"Oh my god!" It was
Yeah, it's 8:31. So that's been a while.
oh yeah.
That was on a Wednesday.
Okay, well, still, it was at the end of the day, so
That's freaking wild, dude.
oh yeah.
You know, I probably don't remember it, or I mean, I'm sure I saw it, but I probably don't. You know this. I don't trade as heavily in the summer. Kids are out of school. You know, I'm doing this, that, and the other. I'm not as active. It's so rare for me to see a Trader Sync calendar for me where like every day I've traded. I don't typically trade every day, and then come summer it gets even lower. Part of the reason I got into this was so I could not trade every day and you know do what the hell I want.
That's
I
right.
did I did the corporate America thing for a long time and was working stupid amount of hours. And I'm not saying there ain't times you got to grind, but part of the reason that I was drawn to this was also for the freedom. So if you ever see a
Absolutely.
Trader Sync calendar from me where I've traded every day, there was probably a problem. I can't remember the last Trader Sync calendar for me where every day had a trade on it.
A problem.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So we are over an hour. We have went a long time, but we covered a lot of shit. We talked about that wild ass ticker. That was fun.
Yeah, man, I just wanted to talk about it, you know?
No, yeah, it's cool. Anyway, all right. Well, wife wants Mexican, so I'm gonna go get. You know, you've seen you. I send you pictures every time.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't know this yet, but if she's watching, she's probably not. She doesn't know much about trading, but I don't pre-order it. I go to the restaurant, order it while I'm sitting at the bar, then get the food. You know, dad hack. Dad hack right there. But anyway, we don't have any questions, which is cool because 420 people might be, I don't know, celebrate or some
Yeah, I think I know somebody who is.
shit. Probably.
Yeah,
All right, big dog. Well, oh, who you said what?
I said old Charlie boy.
Charles. He's a goat. All right. Well, I guess we can cut it. We're good. We covered a lot of stuff. Like, same as normal. Questions, comments, concerns, likes, dislikes. Let us know. We will take it in stride or cry about it in private.
That's right.
But appreciate y'all as always. Hopefully you will like, comment, share, etc. We will do this again next Thursday. It'll be a running thing. Monday, pre-market prep. But with that, I'll holler at you in the morning in the old Discord
That's right.
and see if we can't end this week on a high note.
I hope so.
We damn well better. I hate going to the weekend red. Pisses me off.
Me
I know,
too.
like, it shouldn't matter. And some people are like, oh, it's business. It is what it is. Damn that. I like to go into the weekend green. I don't
Me
want to
too.
go in the weekend red. I like to go in the weekend green. Yes, business is business. Whatever. But I don't like to go in the weekend green. Anyway, all right.
That's right.
Peace. Holler at you tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
All right. Appreciate y'all.